guess what? This is season 2 now. I'm calling it that. You can fight me.
I'm good with that. Season 2 sounds fine.
What was the intro again? It's been so long. Hi everybody, welcome to the Quitters Room. This will be episode 4. My name is Hawk, and with us today we have Wooden Hornets.
Yo.
Tatacat.
Hello.
Noir.
Hello.
And Multi. And so today, since the great release of both Petscop's 11 and 12, we'll be continuing our podcast. And the first thing I think that we should touch on is probably the new upload schedule for, as I will call, season 2. What do you guys have to say about that?
I'm very thankful.
Likewise.
Like, I'm so glad 11's out. Like, you don't understand. I, wanted to cry.
No, I just remember waking up and it was out for 2 hours, and I was like, cool, Petscop 11. Then I looked at 29 minutes, and that's what made me just fucking jolt out of bed. I was like, yep, going to the computer.
I was at Disneyland, so I couldn't watch it till, a day later, and that made me sad. But yeah, had Disney on, I was just like, Petscop 11, Jesus Christ, I need it in my life. So yeah, let's talk about some things that happened in Petscop 11. Anything you want to segue with?
Well, first and foremost, if I can jump in, I don't think that the release on Christmas Day has anything to do with putting Kier and LM in the child library, to be honest with you. I think that it has something to do with the 25th being animated on the Frozen House calendar.
Yeah, I think just Christmas itself has a very big role in the story, and that's why it was doing the little dance on the calendar. It's just a very big number, and I think the creators just wanted to do something on that day to be a big shock. And to be honest, it kind of was worth it. 6 months sucks, but for such a really cool immersive date and immersive video, having it be such a big highlight of Petscop in itself, it makes sense.
I will say I was very pleasantly surprised about it. I was very skeptical on the whole Christmas theory. I thought I don't know, that just seems very weird that they'd be dead for so long and come back on that day, and I didn't really understand people's reasoning for saying it would be on Christmas, but when it happened I was surprised. So
maybe they were going to take a couple months off, and then people started saying Christmas, and they're like, Christmas it is.
Well, I always thought myself that it would come out on Christmas because of the Rainer Petscop theory where he made it and stuff like that, and he'd given it to Paul on Christmas Day. So I figured, well, at some point, one of the episodes will come out then. Didn't expect it to be 11, though.
True. I almost thought it was dead. I was like, if it doesn't come out on Christmas, it's dead, and I was going to give up. So I'm just happy I don't have to give up on this. Also,
yeah, I was sort of similar. I thought if it didn't come back then, I didn't really nobody else seemed to have many ideas on when it would, so I just kind of thought, well, if it doesn't come back then, like everybody says, then I don't know if they really have a plan for release then.
There was another thing unrelated to the website about the About section. Something kind of changed. A lot of people are speculating on the Reddit page. It was the change from enjoy Paul's recordings we do to enjoy the recordings in Petscop we do. And that was very weird wording. That actually made me think a little bit. Do they mean the recordings inside the game? Because related to the Petscop 11 and 12, there seems to be these sort of time loop ideas of the game recording itself as Paul's playing it.
So the next thing I think we should talk about is just things that happened in 11. And the big thing that I kind of want to talk about that I kind of like the theory is the Rainer suicide theory. But who knows? I thought a lot of theories back then and the old episodes were good, so that theory could be thrown out the window so quick. I don't know, it kind of makes sense, mainly because I believe it was Care A's description just kind of sounded like one of those last words kind of things.
The check your bathroom now, yeah.
Yeah, that kind of gave me chills once I realized that was about, and when he paused the game and said, keep playing, I'll be out in a minute, or whatever that was. That just, chills.
And it kind of reverts back.
Disturbing.
And it reverts back to the quote from Petscop 3, you're in the bathtub thinking about her. And if you kind of put them 2 and 2 together, then yeah, it kind of makes sense.
It does, in a way. Petscop 11 was just totally
It was
just
creepy.
an experience. Like
That was
that's
an
the
experience.
only weird. That's the only word I can like describe it with because I was like stunned.
It was really creepy.
I do remember people discussing that, like, the bathroom, like, some bathtub theory was disproven by this episode. Maybe you guys could go more in depth on that, or, like, what happened with that.
The bathtub theory, like the suicide theory.
No, I think that they're talking about the Orr guy who invented rebirthing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And I just, on record, I'm going to be the voice of the skeptic on this one. I don't think that there's indication that Raynor committed suicide. That as to whether that whole you're thinking about her in the bathtub refers to Orr in the first place, we don't have enough information. But one thing we definitely did take away from that, and I mean, the setup could very well be that something happened where it said, keep playing, I'll be right out, while, who knows, while Marvin is stealing care or something like that. Don't know. But
Like a distraction.
Why in the bathroom though?
we know 2 things. Number one, the frozen house is a parallel for Randus and Wavy's tier in Even Care, their room.
Yeah.
And we also know that because when we look at the menu, Care NLM is still populated. The words are there, but Care NLM is absent. We know that that recording actually took place in between him dumping off Care NLM in the child library and the clip that we see of him going back to pick her up in the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just so. Can we talk about the time loops too? That's like a really big thing they're playing on.
Yeah.
Like, so we have 3 big instances of time loops. There was the time loop. I know that there was some kind of time loop in 11, mainly the one where it was. I think it was it like went into the TV, played a demo. It did something, and then he like repeated something he said. It's been a
He
little.
says
bit
the
since I
exact
saw
same
that.
Yeah, in the
thing.
bathroom.
He moves the exact same way, but then realizes there's no block there after he walks into it.
And then there was in 12 when the newer 12 episode where they go and he runs into Marvin and Marvin seems to be randomly walking. That goes with episode 11 and the talking bit with the whole talking stuff. I don't know how to describe that. And then the third instance is the upload schedule of, let's just say, season 1. Season 2 is matching the episode schedule of season 1. So time loops are a big thing, but why? Because it doesn't seem like it's a haunted game, but like what would cause a time loop? We're getting into like time travel shit, like this is Doctor Who stuff, like I don't know.
The
Yeah,
time
I mean,
travel
like,
stuff is what really throws me off.
Yeah, I don't really get it. I don't really understand that so far, personally.
We went from like really like a really big theme jump. Like we went from the whole child abuse theme, and then as soon as 11 came out, we're going with like time travel and like all this really kidnapping and stuff. Where before it was just child abuse.
I personally really hope they don't go too far like off base, because I feel like, and I've brought this up before, and this is more just a personal thing, but I feel like that's sort of what Everyman Hybrid kind of did. I feel like they started out with something that was sort of easy to follow, and then they just went a little bit nuts with it, like trying to drag in all these other themes and ideas, and I don't know, personally for me, like I'm sure many people were still into it, but it just kind of lost me over time, so I really hope that's not the direction Petscop goes in, but that's just
Don't kill me, but I never saw Everyman Hybrid. I know I need to. I know it's amazing. Never saw it. I've only seen.
I think it's
Marvel
okay.
Hornet. That's the one with Habit, right? Like Habit in the trials and all that stuff. Yeah, I know that. That's it. And like other like little things, because I have friends that are fans, and they're like, "Dude, this happened," and I'm like, "I don't care."
So yeah, one of my original theories with Petscop, starting from I believe the 9th episode, yeah, with the windmill reveal of like people disappearing, vanishing. I had a continuing theory that there was some sort of bizarre digital ritual where it was like somebody planting children's consciousnesses inside of this game. And I think 12 really kind of nails that idea more in with the dialogue.
It does to an extent. I'm still a little skeptical on that one because it's just kind of like, come on, why? And like,
I
why
don't
would
think
they?
it's too weird. I mean, like it's a kind
It's
of
already
interesting,
getting weird.
like the science
But you're-
fiction sort of Black Mirror-esque type of twist.
Yeah, I just to throw in, I'm kind of
I like
inclined to
a
believe
holiday.
the same thing. I'm kind of inclined to believe that this is going the same way, with the like some sort of rebirthing, digital immortality. Like,
Yeah.
remember that that one Reddit post where they found the ritual, it's Chinese, where they put out the little
Mhm.
figurines in the
Oh yeah, the pen thing.
yeah, and the pinwheel like in Paul's like birthday party room.
Yeah.
Yeah. But why? A big thing is why did they put all of this like focus on child abuse and rebirthing and the whole Candace Newmaker thing? If it seems like they just threw it out the window. There's still the references to Candace, but what we know it's not about Candace, but what we originally believed was that it was like a theme setter, but it seems like it's going way off of that theme. So why still have it, and why still try to like? Why?
I think it's simply just inspired by different famous cases. I think it doesn't honestly connect really to it on a personal level.
What other
Like-
cases though? I know we talked about one in another
It kind
episode,
of,
but that was it.
It kind of, there's loose little references to the Mick Martin trial with like the school basement with like children inside of it, kind of that,
Yeah.
the endless hallways going to the right, finding them limping, that kind of idea. There's a lot of references to that. I think they're just simply references to famous, horrifying kind of cult-like things. But
Yeah,
I think
maybe.
it's telling its own story at the same time.
I don't really have any more theories aside from what I outlined in my videos. Obviously, I'm pretty sure to this point that Raina is definitely in some way. I don't know whether or not he's dead or not based on the bathroom theory. That was actually brought to my attention after I did my 11 video. So I didn't even consider that until that point. But I still think he definitely had a hand in creating Petscop itself.
I believe he is the creator, to be honest, and the whole thing where the player character Nori hides in like the closet, people are assuming that means that he had something to do with it, whether it be he had a part in it or he just didn't say anything.
I've been considering that possibly it could mean that throughout every single part of Petscop, it's running through past events of Raina's childhood. I've been thinking that.
That would be really crazy, but yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah. At the same time, it would make sense why 12 would have been a demo like it was, just a demo of past events or possibly precursor to events that are coming up. I don't know, but because we are still very confused on what the demos actually are in terms of the timeline. But yeah, I'm thinking they might be that episode 11's ending with the check your bathroom now could be the end of his story, of Raina's story within Petscop's events itself. So the rest is just about trying to figure out what else happened, the bits that he couldn't figure out.
That would be kind of a really good like storytelling like thing. Like episode 11 was straight up exposition in a way, and then you know how you have like exposition in a novel or a book. Like, I want to say it's kind of like when you go to like novel 2, how they reference things in like the past, but there wasn't really a lot of references to season 1 or anything like that. It might just be like references to like beforehand. Another thing that interests me is in just 12 was really weird. We got Belle as a character, which was out of the blue and really weird, and I didn't understand that. I was like, why now? And then we got the weird red-headed, the red triangle quitter, which why are they not censoring the red triangle now? I don't know. We got the weird text boxes and then the texts aligning with other things in episode 1, or not episode 1, episode 11. Episode 12 was insane.
If you think about it that way as well, obviously, if it turned out that that was Raina's story ending in Petscop 11, and hence why it's a demo, maybe it's just showing past events linking up together within that. But for instance, that's why Belle's there, and it was one of my theories in Petscop 12 that obviously the Candace Newmaker references were just to hide something. Maybe it was Raina trying to hide that with Candace's case. Just because that's ended now, they're able to reveal that it's not about Candace, it's about Belle instead, and it's about her story and the things that he couldn't figure out.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually really, really cool, because that, in a way, that is very immersive, because at first we do think it is. At first when Petscop came out, where everyone was like, it's Candace, it has to be her. But now that we're learning more, just kind of like how Paul would theoretically be, we're kind of the Pauls in the situation, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, I always felt a little bit iffy on the Candace Newmaker thing, because I thought, because it's such a real case and such a horrific case, and it did bring things to light with that, but I didn't think at any point that it was definitely about Candace specifically. I always thought that it was just a place setter, but Petscop 12 just confirmed it for me, essentially. But yeah.
Yeah. I think it was debunked really, really, well, not really early on, but around episode 8, 9, people were just like, I don't think it's about this anymore. And then the game theory came, and boy, oh boy, was that fun. Thanks, Matt Pat. I appreciate it. Not. Please don't sue me.
I doubt he's going to sue you. I'm pretty sure he knows that sometimes his theories can be debunked.
I'm legit 17. I still need to go to college. Please don't ruin my life, Matt Pat. But yeah, that was as soon, like, we made progress, and then that happened. But still, I think everybody, as soon as they join the thing, they're like, oh, that makes no sense. All right. What else?
Well, but really quickly, I mean, the whole, forgive me for using this word, oh my God, the whole trope of Candace Newmaker, even the last name, really does fit in my opinion. It carries the spirit, like Noir said, it's a placeholder, you know, and it really does it kind of moves the narrative along.
Yeah, it's almost as if saying something like, yeah, we've put these references here. Now we're showing you what kind of difficult issues we're going to be talking about in this. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
That's how I took it.
Like a very obscure disclaimer.
Yeah, almost like, okay, here we go. This is how deep we're going to go down this.
I would not be surprised, to be honest. And to be honest, it's a great hook. Like, a really weird. It plays with, like, people's, like, wanting to know more, especially with like a taboo case. Like, it's the reason I thought this was so cool. Because I'm like, what? I need to research this. I could do this, and it's real. And I don't know. I thought that was cool.
And even like that person Newmaker's last name. I mean, Newmaker, my God, it's almost poetic, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we should discuss again what the pet's colors represent, because
Oh God, please stop.
No, kidding.
I believe that
They,
Amber references
obesity.
obesity.
Oh, actually, sorry. You go ahead.
Oh no, continue. I was just making dumb jokes.
Messing. We were just joking, because it feels like in the last episodes we constantly always end up reverting back to discussing the pet's colors.
Let's go back to the color theory.
So yeah, we were just joking.
And I will admit, I spent like about a week trying to work in the Paul is Rainer theory. So I have gone down blind alleys. But one thing that I have wondered is, now that we know the Needles piano, we see that it plays some kind of role in this, let's call it rebirthing, whatever. is that what Pen's blurb means? She can't even hear music. I don't know what she's doing here. Is it because she couldn't hear the Needles piano?
I think
Oh,
so.
that's a good one. I
Yeah,
didn't even
I
realize
actually
that. It's
had a
been so
thought
long.
on the pets themselves. I actually had a thought about basically what they actually represent. It was less about them reflecting on a particular person, and it was more to do with particular events. For instance, Pen with the puzzle being Petscop's puzzle for the piano, and then linking up with the needles section. And that's Pen's thing. And obviously you had to trick her into doing it and everything like that. So that Pen is the reference to the needles. Then you've got
Also-
Randis and Tonith and things like that. And Amber being trapped, which is once again now Belle.
Yeah, and that, see, there is, I have like freaking 50 different theories that are competing with each other that I keep bumping up and down. And like Ronith and Wavy, did they come from the frozen house and that's why they mirror their thing mirrors the frozen house? And Pan maybe was picked up by the Noodles piano somewhere that led to her being on this keyboard, etc.
I bet you that the school, once we see the school will line up with Pen's room in some way or another. And I believe that like different rooms, like Ronith and not Ronith, Randis and Wavy have 100% have something to do with the the frozen house, and I bet you Pen will have something to do with the school. Also, can we talk about how the Needles piano, we just mentioned that. Can we talk about how that came to be? And I believe what we remember when we found the weird thing that looked like Tool. I think it was like a piano tuner or something. I forget what
I looked
it
it
was.
up a couple days ago, like in the Skype group out of curiosity, and yeah, I found I did find items that sort of resembled Tool that I think maybe could be believed that might be what it is.
Yeah, I believe it was like some kind of piano tuner. I forget. It was like, it was a couple days ago. I don't remember exactly, but we were looking up Needles pianos because I was like, how did that even come to be? And then we're like, wait, that looks like Tool.
Yeah, are you talking about that thing that that post on Reddit about making the piano keys softer or harder and the tool is used or something?
Maybe. I forget what the tool was for. We were like looking up Needles pianos and how that had anything to do with that. And I believe Multi found it on some like piano like resource site or whatever. I forget what it was, Multi, I'm sorry, but yeah, it was freaky.
I mean, I only barely knew myself what it was, so.
And this was before we looked on the Reddit. We were just kind of just messing around, Googling things, and then we found that, and we're like, what? So yeah, that was also like the Needles piano. Like that's such an obscure thing. I don't understand it. It's just like why? Like there's been nothing. The triangle thing doesn't even look like that. Like it's weird.
Another interesting thing I noted, after he sees Raynor's signature, he then talks about how he saw Raynor in a basement. Wait, no. Was it Raynor or Marvin? I think it was. Yeah, it was Raynor.
Yeah, it was Raynor.
So he saw Raynor in the basement playing video games with children. I don't know. There's something kind of odd about that.
Yeah,
it seems like
I thought that was a bit weird myself.
When I know I have family members that when they're like really antisocial, they always like go hang out with the kids and take care of the kids. Like I have my sister. My sister does that. We'll go to any family gathering and she'll immediately go with the kids because she doesn't really like talking to people. And I understand social anxiety sucks, but so maybe it's just like a hint that he relates more to kids than to adults and would prefer to be away from social situations like that.
Or I was taking that opportunity to quote unquote pick the kids.
Yeah.
To use the game to like pick the kids while all the adults were busy.
It made me remember, do we assume that the person who wrote the Tonith description, was that like Marvin or Raynor, or was it someone completely different? Was there a theory for that? The tone of
Oh,
description
crap,
was
I
always
don't
because if
know.
it was Rainer, it would make sense with the funny, stupid blob monster says Mike, as if he was like in the video game basement playing with them and writing down what they were saying and stuff like that. If Mike was in that room
Yeah.
with them.
Oh, that is a really good point, because also if Mike got trapped in the game at that point, that would make the I haven't seen a bird in so long, funny, stupid blob monster kind of thing.
Yeah,
What if all the like pets were designed by the kids or whatever? Or
has
like an
broken leg for
imaginary
some
friend
reason.
kind of thing. Oh yeah, true. A kid
I still always go back to that quote. That's what always gave me chills. That whole I already hung him on the wall, too late to take it back reminds me of the dog. Like, what is I don't know. There's
True.
something so sinister about that. Something really like disturbing.
You want to know what was unsettling? The whole school parts in 11. That made me like, I was gonna be like, there's a jump scare. There's something
Look like
gonna happen.
doom in hell.
Like, why does this look? Yeah, it looks like Doom. It reminded me of those old. I told you this one, and the old like wallpapers for old computers. It was like
Yeah.
a maze. That's immediately what I thought of, and those are so unsettling to me. I don't know why.
They're
You put
very
those weird like
trippy.
pipe wallpapers up. I don't like them.
I would be very
Also-
surprised if they pulled something like that. I mean, we haven't really had any scares in Petscop yet, have we? Like,
I will
Don't-
say that the AC falling gave me a little jump.
well,
To be
It's a clever
Yeah.
jump scare. It's not really a boo in your face FNAF jump scare. Ew.
yeah, because Petscop's definitely not about
Yeah.
that.
Thank God.
It's just I think someone said it best. It's sort of like a Twin Peaks-esque type of like web series where it's very vague. It gets under your skin, but it doesn't really make you like scared per se. It makes you think about it, and it makes you a little unsettled. It definitely unsettles me sometimes. There's
It
something
makes
about the
me
sound,
very
this-
uncomfortable.
the sound design and the way it looks. It has this very ugly look to it that's just very creepy. Like it's hard to explain, but I don't know. It's a very different type of like horror, although I don't know if I fully consider it horror.
Yeah, it is horror in a way,
kinda.
but it reminds me of like I remember just the little things like that would scare me as a kid, like when the PlayStation. If any of you guys had a PlayStation 2 and you would start it up,
Mhm.
and it would do the whoosh, and then it'd turn
Yeah.
red if you didn't have a disc in. That scared the crap out of me, and I don't know why. It still unsettles me. So like it just brings me back to weird like old video games having weird creepy things.
It had
in
this
them.
like out of world vortex vibe to it. That's just kind of bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
That sound, yeah. I always had a PS2, and it always corrupted like that. Very creepy.
PlayStation 2s are the best. I love them so much. I was able to get one of my favorite childhood games actually for the PlayStation 2. I found out like a shop for like $5. I'm like, this is mine now. Yeah.
What about the other? Go back to the Care description. What about the line of text that says, "My brother didn't want us to find him because he knew we were all looking for Michael A." That was another interesting thing. I wasn't expecting like another blank A, blank B kind of thing.
That was immediately when I heard that, I thought of like, they want the old you said Michael, right? They want the old Michael. But after like such a traumatic event, you change, you know? Like you're different. That's immediately what I thought, because carrier A, B, and LM, that's supposed to be like stages in like a psychological kind of thing, at least from what the picture looks like. So immediately I was like, okay, he doesn't want to be found because he's going to be so different. He's not going to be like how he originally was.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be the same Michael, figuratively, but who knows? Maybe it's literally, knowing where this series is going.
This is
They're
a really
clones.
this is a really old observation, but I do really hope that the quivering triangle that says "go back" is actually not a coincidence. Like it actually is like legitimate. Like he put it in there very subtly as foreshadowing. Because if that was a coincidence, that'd be kind of a shame. Like it was just a genuine glitch. But
Wait,
I don't know.
the triangle?
Yeah, because the whole time nothing else quivers except the triangle for "go back." Ever since the start, it always is like shaking as if it's like warning Paul to go back at the beginning.
Oh,
Yeah.
in the menu?
Yeah, or wherever he goes,
Oh.
it says go back, and it's like shaking like really viciously.
That and Nightmare Masterclass caught that, and that I need that to be true. Yes.
It's so cool. Also, I didn't even notice when you pause it, it looks like a Christmas tree. That was something else that was really interesting.
I didn't notice that.
That's definitely a coincidence, the Christmas tree. But just the fact that it's like shaking to begin with is that would be really clever. Also, because it's a game designed by somebody, so they have to add that, I guess, very carefully to make it do that, because everything else isn't shaking.
At that point, I would, even if it was a mistake, I'd just be like, "Yep, I meant that. I'm a genius." Ooh, symbolism.
Tell me it's not true.
I don't know. Whenever I do something, I love symbolism, especially when I make characters. I'm like, symbolism everywhere. So yeah.
Also, Petscop 12, I guess, deconfirmed my idea that the blank space would be for Paul in the future. Yeah, the game would trap Paul. I was kind of sad about that, but I did like that idea.
Wasn't there, her old theory was like the people in the game were like the old new makers, and then you're the new maker or something like that?
Yeah.
And then you like got trapped in the game and it gave to someone else. I don't know.
I don't know if it was like a revenge idea, as if like Paul was the original creator of the game, which would be kind of like, as revenge, the pets lure him back in to trap him there. That'd be kind of interesting, but
Ooh.
But I don't know, like it'd be a little too creepy pasta. Kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, at that point I'd just be like, come on. That's just like,
it's nice.
That's like a FNAF thing. Yeah.
Yeah, Petscop, like the calendars were also kind of interesting.
Oh,
I didn't really
wasn't
understand
there like a message on one of them?
Yeah, something with the, I think it was June 5th. It's for June 5th.
That. Also,
the checkerboard thing is what I didn't really get. Like,
I believe that it's been like kind of the main theory right now is that it's a schedule to, for like, when you switch between parents, like one parent has the kid for this day and then the other parent has the kid for these days and blah 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 blah. So it's like that, a parenting schedule. I don't know what you call it. I know that there's a word. I don't remember.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
So
I would buy that theory.
It's just mainly the weekend thing. Like there's like one, and then the each and every week or something. It was something, I forget how it looked.
Custody.
But it just, yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. I should know what that means. Like I should have known that word, but apparently I don't. So yeah. Yeah, that's something. Is there anything else that we're missing?
We didn't touch on much. We didn't touch on the chat system where he's talking to Marvin, the demo.
Oh yeah, that. Any of you guys have anything to say about that?
Well, I don't know if it's just me. It kind of sounded like that Marvin was like, the way Marvin talks in is as if it's like a kid. There's like hints of it being like the words of like a kid messing around, but I could be wrong.
Maybe. I believe that I read somewhere that the wording system is supposed to be more phonetic rather than like it won't recognize the name Paul. That's why it spelled out like Pall.
Marvin's totally illiterate. He misspells stuff at the beginning. He misspells house. What a loser.
Did he?
Yeah, he spelled it Houss like an idiot.
Oh, yay, what fun. So maybe it is a kid, who knows?
Just a little kid. And Rainer made it for a kid.
Well, I mean, the freaking talk system is complex enough. I didn't even understand it. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Not really kid-friendly there. 0 out of 10. Would not play again.
I will say, in terms of Petscop 12, so are people saying that the red triangle player, are they saying that's Paul? Or is that just speculation? Because I didn't really think of it as Paul when I
The triangle critter?
Or it could be Pyramid Head from...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, yes, it's Pyramid Head. Of course.
It's crossover.
Oh,
Pyramid
yes.
Red.
It also it also crosses over with FNAF, and there is also some Doki Doki in there.
Oh my god, that would be freaking hilarious if it
Oh my
glitches and has just Monica.
Just
Oh,
just
God.
Paul. Just Paul.
I don't think anyone...
Yeah, someone did actually send me a link to a video for that. Obviously, they're showing the red prism head and obviously the demo version of the avatar linking
can you
up
guys hear
together
me?
in previous episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you. But yeah, and it showed cross-cutting footage of them both actually following in the exact same pattern again. So that made me even consider that obviously the red prism-headed one wasn't actually Belle. It was actually Paul.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh, I'm looking back at Petscop 12. I didn't even notice the... So, yeah, in terms of quivering, actually going back to that, the only thing that's quivering on the... You've been apparently playing Petscop nonstop for blah, 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 blah. It's only the seconds numbers that are actually, like, shaking. Everything else is, like, still. I didn't even notice that.
What about... Oh, yeah, let's talk about that. The time. I forgot about that. The freaking time that's like running for like 17 years or something.
That's definitely that combined with the whole I'm uploading them in the machine or whatever. That's what really made me think like this is like a consciousness digitalized. Like the fact that it would be in there for that long and the game is still on. Kind of goes back to the Marvin hurts me when PlayStation is on. That idea.
Oh,
that they could have left it on for that long.
Your PlayStation is fried, man. Like your electricity bill must be off the freaking wall. Like
Rainer made a hack.
Oh, he took like one of those extension cords which has the multiple thing and just plugged it into itself.
The only goofy thing that I could like, the only thing that makes this theory kind of goofy to me, honestly, is not the fact that it kind of feels like kind of like a creepypasta twist, but thinking that in Rainer's house he has like these like giant cables connected to this old PlayStation where he's like uploading digital minds. It's like it's a really silly image. Just like Rainer's like, oh, I'm gonna upload all these children to my game.
I decided to put all the kids into my Commodore 64 or whatever it was called. Imagine if it was just like a really like my Atari 2600.
Oh, I honestly think that even if he planned something like that, that probably the two game jacking experiences plus the in real life stalking that some people have done, they probably quashed that, to be honest.
Probably.
Oh yeah.
They'll just build their own windmill.
But wait, like what? Did someone like try to like find Paul's house or something?
I don't think so. I think I assume you're just talking about the website.
Probably.
But,
Oh, and that's another thing. The like the windmill, the pinwheel, they both spin around, kind of like the symbol that looks like a swastika, but it's backwards and it's an Indian symbol for rebirth.
Oh, what is that? Oh, I didn't know about this.
Yeah, there's a backwards. It has a name, and I'm totally blanking on it, but it looks like it's exactly like a swastika, only it
looks exactly like a swastika.
I found it.
Oh boy. Next episode there'll be a character named Tatacat.
I don't know why it keeps doing that.
I want the twist to be good. What if there isn't even a twist? I'll be sad.
That'd be great.
Just no twist. It just goes on forever. No,
or
I'm
it's
kidding.
just ridiculously like convoluted and not even worth it to like try to piece together because like it's just
It's
it
Homestuck
ends up a
levels of
mess.
confusing.
Yeah,
they just get entirely lost in their own story.
I mean, what is the general like sort of feel that most of the fans have as far as like, do we think it's nearing the end of the story? Do we think we've still got a long way to go? Or like, I don't know. Where do we
Oh,
think
no.
Petscop is in its arc, sort of?
We have a good amount of ways to go. I don't think it's like super long. It depends on. They had 6 months, and I'm guessing they just recorded a bunch of stuff like during that 6 months. Probably not too long. Maybe it end this year and next, but I don't see it going on for like I don't know, like Marble Hornets. Didn't that go on for like 5 years?
Well, the thing about this, I feel like Paul has made enough progress in the game in general to have like been kind of hint near the end, because I mean he's almost caught all of the stuff he needs. He just needs, seems like he just needs Care B. I don't know how long that'll take. I mean, he knows he has to go to the school. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's where the either 13 or 14 will take place.
I mean, like in the case of Everman Hybrid, technically, last I saw, they're still going on. But the thing with them is like now the breaks in between their videos are taking like years, and then they upload a short video that doesn't really answer anything, so it brings up more
That's so
questions, and
dumb.
then they put it off another year, and it's just like I don't know. That's why I just quickly fell out of interest of it. I was just like, nothing's moving along, nothing's really being answered. These
If
long
Petscop
waits
does
between
that, I'm
videos.
quitting.
Yeah.
I'll be the quitter now.
Yeah, I'm thinking myself that it'll probably still go on for at least a couple more episodes at least. They definitely have to finish off the school because they've shown it now. They've shown that they've actually built that part. It looks broken, but it is there. So
At
there's
this
still
point,
the
like,
answers there.
yeah, we need we have so many more. It's either gonna end this year or next year. If it really is that long, then go for another year. Be my guest, but don't have large breaks. Like the 6 months, it was kind of ridiculous. I could see them doing the 6 month break like once a year, like how they did with this one, where it's kind of like where they're making the finale and probably making more episodes, because this looks like an actual game. It looks like it was very much coded rather than animated.
Oh yeah,
and
no
that's
doubt.
really, really hard. So they're probably like coding the game, and they needed that time to do all that. So I could see why they'd have like the 6 month break.
Yeah.
Please, for the love of God, don't do it any longer.
Yeah, I was sort of middle of the road on that. I couldn't really figure out if it was animation or not, but yeah, I definitely more so lean that it's probably just a coded game.
I can kind of, I don't know, it might have been just me, but sometimes you hear like controller like.
Yeah,
clicks or
well,
whatever.
I definitely think what he did was he sort of timed it up and then recorded the audio over it.
Oh, maybe.
Mostly because there were specific things that I think like he really couldn't like have done without doing something like that, like the time loop ideas.
Yeah,
Like things like that.
Yeah, I bet you some of like the footage might have just been doubled over, or like it's like an autonomous program like to program the player to move like Paul to move like that, or no, I guess in this case. Like for the time loops, they'll just be like, do this and then just do this, but with these different assets here, or these different assets removed, like the block. And then the rest is just an autonomous like program of the sprite walking.
That's kind of been sort of like I'm 50-50 on this. Could, for instance, like Marvin's sync in 12 that syncs up with earlier, could that be, is that a clue, or is that just recycled footage out of convenience? I'm iffy on that.
I don't think the time loops are coincidences, like just recycled footage. I think it has to be a clue. At that point, it's like too much of a... People are gonna notice. Like, I don't think they would do that, and then... They're playing on the theme of time loops. I don't think they would reuse stuff when they're playing with this time loop theme.
Looking at, I mean, to go way back, let's go to the way back machine.
I think it's easy to say that sync up with Marvin walking around. I think that was definitely a clue. I think it's meant to be the demo hinting at Paul where the school building is.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Because it means it's outside there and he'd have to turn to the Shadow Monster Man again and go inside or something like that.
You think we're gonna see the school 13 or
I
an
think
episode
so.
13?
I think this video will just like, be a little wake up call to Paul where it is.
13 or 14, man. Maybe 13, like you see it at the end, and then 14. Then we'll see more. I wonder if it'll turn first person again, though.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
That
it'll
was
look
insane.
better. Maybe it'll look patched up because it was the demo last time.
you know what? You've just made me think about something that hadn't
Ooh, what?
even occurred to me at all.
What?
The words "don't get lost."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, huh?
What would you say to a child that's going to school?
Oh yeah.
their own. Don't get lost.
That's a good one. That's really good, actually.
Did anyone
Links to a
Holy
double
crap.
meaning.
Did anyone ever actually theorize and pretty much say, because I'm sure people already said it, what Paul's drawing was supposed to be?
Oh, yeah, I have no clue. That's just
I
kind
have
of
an
something
idea.
that, what?
I think it's that he drew like a map of that ground area, and because he was clearly walking around, finding specific areas and walking around, I think what he did was he drew a map of that plane, of the whole grass area, so he could guide himself to where he needs to go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Like, that's
maybe, because
definitely
at
what I
that
thought.
point... Yeah, some
'Cause-
kind of map instruction thing.
Because there was like a quote that he said where he was like, if you're wondering what I'm doing right now, I drew a picture when I got home. So it makes me wonder how he knew what to draw.
Maybe he came home from the windmill. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Maybe
She's
it's
back.
maybe it was a map
Oh.
of the actual area itself that was to the house that's in
Mhm.
real life.
Maybe.
Could be a map back to that because he does sort of duck and weave quite a lot. Maybe that's
Yeah.
back streets or something like that, or crossing roads, whatever.
Yeah.
That's something that confused me when he said when he got to the road and he said, that's not what I was expecting to see. I was expecting something else. Like, what else would it be expected?
Some other
That was kinda-
landmark in his town. I don't know. That's like just kind of as soon as the website, if there is a website, gets revealed, I bet you the picture will be on there.
Mm-hmm.
You think there'll ever be a website revealed?
Oh, no idea.
I mean, I think how it would go is like they would like end up linking it in like the about section or the description. Or
Yeah,
something
they'd
like
have to
that.
link it.
I think
Just
maybe a
why
website.
now?
I'm not really convinced. Like, I know people were saying, like, oh, what if they release the game? But I think if they didn't do that, like, after the long break for Petscop 11, I don't really think they're going to release a game now.
At that point, it's just so much work because you gotta, like, game making's hard. And at this point, they're probably just doing the bare minimum to get their footage out.
I mean,
Like, the bare minimum of stuff that works.
I mean, like, I know I was always kind of hoping that it'd be a game. I can understand why it doesn't seem very plausible at this point. I always imagined that it was like, as they keep making episodes, they're adding things that they don't show. So the game would be sort of finalized as they're releasing episodes. So they're still making the game, and then like when the series is over, that's when the game gets released, and you figure it out on your own. Because I don't know, I've always felt like Petscop's episodes, they were vague enough so they would give you the audience clues to end up playing the game themselves. I always thought that could have been the idea in the end, that this whole thing is like a clue to how to play the game.
Yeah, that would kind of kill my immersion, though. It would be cool to have your own Petscop. I would put it on like a PlayStation 2 disc just to play it on my PlayStation 2. I'd figure out some way to do that. I want Animal Police 5. That's
Animal
the best
Police
meme.
5. I'll do it, and I'll recreate the
school?
chat system. Oh god, a POV. Ew.
That was freaking awesome. That was funny. You should.
I'll make it the worst thing ever. I'll make it like I'll literally make it in the Windows screensaver, like you said.
I'm sorry
The
if you guys
Windows
don't know what
screensaver.
Animal Police is. Animal Police is
Shout
William's
out.
little Yeah, it's Wooden's like parody of Petscop, and the funniest thing is that people were like on the comments like, oh, maybe you should do this, like thinking it was a real thing when it was obviously like just a complete shit post
Yeah.
that we thought about like 1 a.m.
I got like 60 subscribers on that somehow, and how?
You're
remember-
talking about that screensaver that's the maze from
Yeah.
The
freaking
brick maze.
1980. You do it. Oh my god, that would be so
For the
perfect.
love of God.
I'll
And
have
recreate the chat system, but it's like keyboard prompts, even though it's stated it's on Xbox.
Oh yeah, the keyboard. Oh, that was so
Yeah, because
stupid.
if you notice in the first episode of Animal Police, like it'll show the Xbox logo, but then when he types in the name, you clearly hear a keyboard. There was also the I think it broke and then just complete ear rape.
Oh wait, I think I actually I called one of my theories in that with Mr. I saying, there are many pets trapped in this game. You need to rescue them.
Oh yeah,
And that was before Petscop 12 with the whole I upload them in the machine.
yeah, that was pretty A++. Alrighty, any closing
We're
statements,
at-
anything?
My only closing statement, besides to thank Noir Ascii very much for joining us, but would be also to say, if Tiara plays bad music on the Needles piano, then how was Belle supposed to become Tiara? What? That's one thing that I'm stumbling on.
True. I think that they're just the same person, different name, or rebirthed, whatever.
Oh,
theory you wanna
wait.
go with.
Tatacat, I don't think I think you crashed when I explained something, which was the whole Marvin if it was a coincidence that it's like the same movement. I made a point that I think that that's supposed to be a clue for Paul to where the location is of the school, so he can go into it the next episode as like the Shadow Man.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think that's what.
Alrighty. So, also quick shout out to everybody who watched our podcast like before the earlier episodes. Like, holy heck, we hit like 1,000 views, which I expected like 2. So, thanks. And yeah, go follow Noir Ascii on YouTube. Giving him a little shout out because he's great. And no problem, man.
Was it the sound? It was the YouTube that got the 1,000 views, not the SoundCloud?
Yeah, YouTube got 1,000 views, and then the second episode got 500. We never put the third episode on YouTube. I'm gonna do that.
I'm so easily confused. Okay, got it.
I don't know. I just saw that the other day, and I like almost screamed because So yeah,
So-
thanks for everybody joining. Thanks to Wooden Hornets. Thanks to Tatacat. Thanks for Multi for joining us and helping us with editing and all that good old technical stuff that I do not understand. And thanks for Nora for being our guest and just being a cool dude, I guess. See you guys later. I guess that's a wrap, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.